Hi, I'm Miguel Diaz. I'm a CAU alumni. I'm currently a first officer for Delta Airlines on the Airbus A319, 20, and 21. I have my bachelor's in aeronautics, and when I graduated CAU, I left with my 1,000 hours to reach my first regional airline. I always liked airplanes growing up. My dad always wanted to be a pilot. He never got the chance to, so he kind of put the aviation bug into me, and I always liked it since. I don't think I've ever wanted to do anything else. I chose CAU because at a first glance it looked like they made everything so simple. One of the reasons, and then they were also close to home, only about a 3-hour drive from where I used to live. CAU helped me greatly. There was a lot of great people when I started at the program. My instructor was great. My old chief flight instructor, all very helpful people that I essentially wanted to see all the students succeed. My journey from when I started at CAU, I enrolled in August of 2018. In October of that same year, I did my first solo in one of the school's airplanes. In December of that same year, I got my private pilot certificate. In May of 2019, I got my instrument rating. Then in August of 2019, I got my commercial airplane single engine certificate. Then I proceeded to get my CFI certificate in October of 2019. And in December of 2019, I also got my CFII certificate. Then I worked at the flight school as an instructor until I became a team manager. Then I got my multi-engine rating in December of 2020. And I interviewed and got hired by SkyWest in June of 2021. I worked there for 18 months, then I got hired by Frontier Airlines in December of 2022, worked there for 9 months, and lastly I got hired at Delta in September of 2023. The transition from a regional to a mainline carrier was, honestly, I gotta say it's night and day. Obviously a regional is an airline where you start out beginning to build your hours, so it's really like the rookie years of your airline pilot career. Once you get to the mainline, everything's a lot more structured. There's a lot more support for your operation. Management is also heavily involved. So there's a lot of differences, definitely for the better. So it was definitely an eye-opener to see how good an airline pilot's life actually can be. Everyone I've encountered at Delta has been great. They are super friendly. Everyone wants to see you succeed. Everyone wants to see the company succeed. So we're all working towards a common goal. Typical daily life, it's obviously, start by waking up, start getting ready for your day, have breakfast, do what you need to do. Obviously adjust to what your schedule is looking like for that day to go fly. But for me specifically, I'm a commuter, so I would start at my house in Vegas, then start commuting up to Salt Lake, sit there for a couple hours before I show up to the gate before my report time to meet the crew, meet the captain, do the basic introductions, get the airplane ready to go fly, and then fly the airplane to where we need to go that day. Come out, get to the hotel, and rest up for the next day. I currently fly the Airbus A319, A320, and 21, and I'd say that's probably my favorite aircraft just because the variety of flying is so spread out throughout the company that you could get basically any type of flying you would seek for. You could go out to the West Coast, you could get some mountainous flying up by Washington or Montana, or you could go down to the Caribbean and get your beach days in. So it's a very widely used airplane. One of the biggest challenges we might face, definitely when we first start out, is getting used to living away from home. Kind of making your hotel room your little home for a couple hours before you go out to another hotel, and it's especially if you have a family, just being away from family when you first start out. Essentially, you do get used to it, but at first it could be hard for a lot of people. So my favorite routes to fly would be Boston to Las Vegas, because it means I get to have an overnight at home, so I just get essentially paid to be at home. Another one could be LA or Seattle down to Cancun. I love the beach. I actually prefer the beach over a snowy day any day, so it's a really fun overnight to go to. So where I did my training and Delta's headquarters are in the same exact location. And actually, Delta has a big campus down in Atlanta, right north of the Atlanta airport. and that's where they do everything. They handle dispatch, they handle operations, flight attendant training, pilot training, and mechanic training. One of the best pieces of advice that I could give to current and aspiring pilots are to enjoy the process, enjoy training. I know everyone's demographics is different, but a lot of people, once they're done with training, they get to the airlines, they kind of don't go back into general aviation. And some people do end up missing it, so enjoy flying the little Cessnas, the Barons around, but also put in the hard work, study with a group of friends, study with a group of peers, because it's not a career really that you might be able to study all on your own. At some point in my future goals, I would like to upgrade to either being a captain on an narrow-body plane at Delta, or I would like to go fly a wide-body international flights. I got the call saying I was hired. I felt accomplished. I felt like one of my biggest goals in life was finally about to come to completion. I couldn't be happier.